Good morning, it's Mary Beth. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I am making lemon curd and I thought, why not bring my friends along? So here we go. Here's my recipe for lemon curd. I am using a double boiler. You can see I have steam coming out of here. It's just come to a full boil. I'm going to take and turn that down a little bit. And into the bowl of my double boiler, I am going to add the few ingredients that make lemon curd. I'm going to make a double recipe, so I have 8 egg yolks. I have taken the whites and I will reserve that for something else. To it, I am adding 2/3 of a cup of lemon juice. This is a double recipe, so you only need 1/3 cup. And to it, I am adding a 1.25 cups of sugar. And I am adding the zest of about 5 lemons. So if you're doing one recipe, probably 2 to 2.5 lemons are probably fine. You're gonna take this and all you're gonna do is combine this and you are gonna stir until the cows come home. This is gonna take about 10 minutes to do. And it is super important that you stir. Stir and stir and stir. The reason being is these are the only ingredients in here. There's no other thickeners. There's no corn starch of any sort. So we need to make sure that we stir so that the eggs don't, scramble on you. I see it looks like I have a little bit of a seed in here. I guess that's a good thing. They'll know that I am definitely using fresh lemons, and fresh lemons are a must in something like this. You know, sometimes you use that squeezed lemon juice for something, but when you're making something where you want it to be the star of the recipe that you're making, fresh is always best, not the squeezed lemon juice that comes in a jar. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to do nothing but stir, stir, stir. These ingredients will become hot from the heat that rises from the bottom of the double boiler. We don't use double boilers too much anymore, but my grandmother used to use a double boiler for a lot of things, and I have always kept one on hand. One of my favorite recipes to make in a double boiler was my great Aunt Marion's double boiler bread pudding. And oh my gosh, can I tell you how delicious that recipe was. I first had it when I was a kid. I used to visit my aunt and uncle. I did for several years at Thanksgiving. My older brother was going to school in New York. My great aunt and uncle lived in Massachusetts. And I think a time or two while he was in college, he came and joined at my great aunt's house. I used to go there with my grandmother. My mother was a very giving person to let me go and miss a holiday. I mean, I was still in grade school when that was going on, but I have some great memories of going to visit them at Thanksgiving. And using a double boiler was something that I learned from my grandmother and my great Aunt Marion. And maybe I'll make that recipe on here for double boiler bread pudding one day. Those of you that like it, I mean, it is like none other. It's not firm and set up like a bread pudding would be, let's say a traditional New Orleans bread pudding where it's real firm and then they put like a bourbon sauce over it. My recipe doesn't have any liquor in it, but it does have a sauce that's made naturally by the brown sugar, and it is to die for. Everybody that has it absolutely, positively loves it. So let me just give you a fast look here. I have nothing but liquid. It looks like a big liquid yellow something going on, and I need to just keep stirring. If you noticed, I am using a silicone whisk, and that is one of the things that are necessary. With all the acid from the lemons in here, I don't know exactly the science behind it, but I believe that using a metal whisk would potentially give you a metally kind of taste in your lemon curd. So I have a silicone one that I'm using on this recipe, and hopefully we will refrain from having that flavor. What I'm gonna do with this is my friend Collin, it's his birthday coming up, and I'm like, well, let me do something for you. Can I make a birthday cake for you? And he said, oh, that sounds good. And I said, okay, what kind do you want? And he's like, I don't know. And he's not a very big sweets kind of guy. But I said, well, just let me know. And he said, well, my favorite flavors are lighter flavors. Like I like lemon or I like coconut. I said, okay, we can do that. I said, so do you want like a coconut cake? Or do you want a lemon cake? Or do you want a coconut cake with lemon filling? And he's like, that's wonderful. Now, if you were my husband, you would not say that is wonderful. Ed loves a good coconut cake, but not with lemon filling in it. But guess what? It's not Ed's birthday, it's Collin's birthday, and Collin's gonna get what he wants. So I am making lemon curd. It is just another name for like a filling. You can buy this in a jar, but it comes like so much brighter in flavor. The intensity is there and the freshness. Especially you're using something that's bright in color and taste like a lemon is. Why not really make it fresh and make it yourself? This can last in the refrigerator in a sealed container for probably a week to 10 days, I would think is fine. I'm going to use it in a couple of days. I just had a couple of minutes this morning. I've been answering emails and I've been on the MLS, and I'm like, okay, do I have 15 or 20 minutes where I can spare and get this done? I'm a big proponent of planning ahead, doing ahead what you can, because you never know what might happen later. So I used to preach that to my kids when they would be having schoolwork. And it's just a motto that I have always lived by. So I am going to make the lemon curd and keep it in my refrigerator. The cake I could do in advance too, and I think what I'm going to do is kind of a white cake but with coconut flakes in it a little bit. And then I will put the lemon in between the layers. So I'm going to do a big cake, but I'm going to do it a layered cake. So I'll have probably 3 layers that will need the lemon curd. And this is going to go on that white cake that has coconut in it. And then I am going to frost it with a cream cheese frosting that has coconut in it as well. This lemon curd is not as thick as if you were to make this type of thing with cornstarch. My grandmother had a Betty Crocker cookbook from probably the early 50s, I would guess. I still have it and I refer to it from time to time. And in there is a recipe for a lemon meringue pie. And that's like a great summertime favorite. And I have been known to make it and use that recipe. But that lemon curd, we'll call it, really is super thick, which you would want if you had a lemon meringue pie, right? Because who wants to cut into a pie and have the filling all run out? So you want it to be a little bit tighter. What I will do with this is I will put some lemon curd over a thin little layer of the frosting when it's in between the layers. And that will give the lemon curd something to set into. And, you know, this is pretty intense in flavor. It's going to be something that, you know, you want that flavor, but it's really going to hit you. So let me just say a little goes a long way. And we're trying to make sure that the flavor of coconut, which to me is a little more subtle than the flavor of lemon, we want to make sure that the coconut can be a part of the party. And we don't want so much lemon curd that it is just gonna, you know, go crazy. So I'm still stirring. I wish I were on Facebook Live doing this and I would have some friends who were cooking along with me or watching me and at least giving me some questions. But I'm not. So I guess I'll have to keep on with my monologue here. And this is starting to get a little bit thicker. It's not there quite yet. One of the things that I'll note on here is I'm going to finish this up with butter. That is a frequent ingredient that gets added to puddings or fillings, and it really gives it a very silky, rich, over the top kind of feel. And listen, if you're gonna like be having some fabulous dessert, if it's banana pudding or if it's coconut cake with lemon filling, if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it and enjoy it. So the butter that I have is salted butter, therefore I did not add any salt to this recipe. If I had unsalted butter, then I would definitely have given this a good pinch if I were making one recipe. If I were doing a double recipe like I am, I probably would use about a half a teaspoon of salt, and that's kosher salt that I use when I do that. I cook with kosher salt a lot. A lot. So I have in here my eggs, egg yolks actually, my sugar, my lemon juice, and my lemon zest. And then after this starts to thicken, and it will continue to thicken as it sets. Again, it's not going to be super hard like if you used cornstarch or another thickening agent, but it will firm up as it cools. So I'm going to go with this probably about another minute or so, and then I will throw in the butter, and then after the butter is all melted through, I am going to refrigerate this, and I will use it for the cake in a couple of days. So that's what's going on in my kitchen. I just thought that maybe you all would enjoy this. As always, you know, if you want some sugar and spice and real estate advice, you can call MB. I'm here for you. And if you have any Thanksgiving ideas or Thanksgiving recipes that you need, or you want to share your favorite Thanksgiving thing, hey, reach out to me. I would love to see what you're doing. Send me a picture, or if it's a question, ask me your question. I'll see if I can help. I think my family has decided they want to have prime rib for Thanksgiving. It's going to be a super quiet Thanksgiving, as is, I think, everybody that I know. I would have loved to have gotten together with our friends, the LaRoches in Houston, but with COVID going on, it's not a cool thing. So it'll just be my immediate family that's going to be here, and we're going to make prime rib for Thanksgiving. I guess in this year of 2020, when so much is crazy, why not make it a little bit more crazy and not have turkey on Thanksgiving? But I would love to be able to help you with recipes, traditional or not, for Thanksgiving. And I'd love to see what you're doing in your kitchen. So my butter is melted. Take a look here at what I've done. Whoops, there you go. I have a nice filling that's not super thick, but it's gonna be so full of flavor. Let's see, I'm gonna give it a whirl right here while you're with me. Really good. There's a lot of zest in there, so you get a little bit of texture. Some people totally have texture issues when something is too smooth. This is not overly sweet. That's really good. That's going to be great in my cake. So I'm Mary Beth Genovese. This is Sugar and Spice and Real Estate Advice. If you like the video, please subscribe. Give it the like button. Tell me what you're thinking in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day, y'all.